Sheet happy hour that we didn't really plan that one, and poor Ian was in the middle of the best explanation of team racing ever. So Ian, would you mind giving us another explanation about team racing? And then I'm going to have a follow-up question about some of the tricks too for your teammates. So if you can give us a short version, maybe we'll let Travis tell us some of the tricks, or the two of you can tell us some of the tricks.
Sure. So team racing basically is a sailboat race where there's two teams in a given race, and each team has more than one boat on it. There can be 2 boats, 3 boats, 4 boats, as many boats as you want. But the score is accumulated by the total number of points that each team gets in a race. The team with the lowest total points wins. So it's oftentimes better for boats to help their teammates get to the front of the fleet rather than to go out and win the race by themselves. The important aspects about team racing that really that are brought out by doing this is that, it really rewards good boat handling, good rules knowledge, and good teamwork between not only the people in your boat but also the people that are in other boats along the way.
Can I ask, before we talk about some of the tricks or techniques, I should say, too. Whose dog is it now? How long are the races? Are they typically short? I know the ones that you've done at SSA have been short. Is that typical?
Team races are typically pretty short. A typical team race course is going to range between 5 and 15 minutes in length.
Wow.
Also, a typical team race regatta is going to have a number of teams, and they oftentimes go in a round-robin format where every team sails against every other team. So it's a lot of fast-paced action. Many team race regattas have provided boats, and the teams that are sailing the boats rotate through the various boats and rotate through racing each other. So you can get a whole lot of racing done in a day, and you also get some time on shore to get together with your friends and talk about what just happened in the last race, and maybe give them a hard time about things that you didn't appreciate that they did, or compliment them on things that you did appreciate that they did.
Great. For the folks who are just tuning in or tuning back in because we had some technical difficulties, we are talking about how to run a successful team race regatta, and we're talking to some folks from Severn Sailing Association about the Olivia Constance Team Racing Invitational, which is taking place this summer. But we'll get more to the particulars on that race. And Travis, can you tell us some of the tricks that you learn in team racing to help your teammates along? What are some of the things you keep your eye on in order to help your teammates get to number one?
Yeah, so you're really focused on trying to slow the other team down. So you're trying to place your boat on top of or to cover another boat on the water, which you can do by luffing your jib on them if you're in a 2-sail boat. Trying to put yourself as a pick play between you, enemy team member. We call them enemies when we teach it to the high schoolers, and your friend. Just trying to get them out of any sort of coverage zone on the race course. And that works with upwinds and downwinds. So obviously there's different places to place your boat on the upwind versus the downwind based on where the wind is coming from. So you're really trying to get leverage on the other team to put yourself ahead of them. Generally, you want to be coming into ley line on starboard tack because you have advantage there. So on the downwind, you're trying to go kind of left down the course to gain that advantage at that Mark 3. They number the marks in team racing. So instead of the windward mark and the leeward mark, you're talking about Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, and Mark 4. So that's how you designate, everything on the race course. So yeah, you're really trying to set a pick or just slow them down using luffing techniques or pinning somebody out to a specific side. And then, if you're in a solid combination, you're essentially trying to set up a wall that other team can't get through.
Ian, can you think of any other tricks that team racers learn in time?
There's a lot of little subtle tricks, that people slowly pick up. The general gist of it, though, is you use the rules and you use your wind shadow to slow down your opponents and position yourself so that the opponents can't get ahead of you, but your teammates can if they want to. Some of the biggest things that come up that really really good team racers get to the point where they're controlling the race subtly and working really on positioning on the race course to naturally make the other team slow down and allow your teammates to pull ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, that is really different than other racing. In other races, you're always just trying to win, so to help another boat win that's an interesting angle. Travis, can you tell us, and I know you are the director of the junior program at SSA. Tell us about the junior component to this regatta. Is it more significant than the adult component? Is it half and half? I mean, I know this is like a full family regatta, all ages join in, but can you tell us a bit about the junior component?
Yeah, it's really cool. So last year we had some really cool stuff with the juniors where they're sailing with their parents or whatever, but the juniors tend to really like this event because it's more fun-filled, less stressful for them. They're really, enjoying they're embracing the having fun about it. They're not worried about, first or last at that point, which is really a big sigh of relief halfway through the summer program because they're racing all year long with that, competitive edge to, win everything and, everything's serious. But it's really cool that the juniors get to participate and just see kind of a more fun and laid back version of racing. And they get to really take in the knowledge that these older sailors or the sailors that have more experience in this specific type of sailing, they get to take that knowledge in and they get to it helps them grow as sailors, which is really cool. They get to meet some new people. Sometimes we'll have SSA sailors sailing with AYC sailors, and so on. So it's a really cool way to just bring all of the programs together and all age groups together. We had, some 7-year-olds participating to 16-year-olds participating, Opti sailors hopping in an FJ or a 420 and going team racing on the weekend. It's just a really cool break in the season for them to get that opportunity to just enjoy a different aspect of racing. It's really awesome for them.
Yeah. And is this the only time that they participate in team racing over the course of the season?
Over the summer, yes. Everything else is fleet racing in the summer. Unless they're in the 420 travel teams. In that case, they get to apply for the Brooke Gonzalez clinic and get to go race in that. But that's resume only. So if you don't have that experience in team racing, then that's not an event that you get invited to or that you get into. So this is the one event during the summer season where they get to go team racing. Fall and spring, if they're in their high school programs, they get to do a lot of team racing. So it's a nice little refresher in the middle of the summer for those types of sailors. But yeah, there's not much team racing in summer sailing. It's all that fleet racing stuff. So
yeah, well, it's nice to have it. Nice to switch it up a little bit for them.
Definitely.
So I'm going to ask all of you this question. I'm going to start with Chloe. Why do you think this regatta has been so successful at Severn Sailing Association? And what's some of the feedback you've gotten over the years on the regatta?
I mean, Travis was just talking about how we have young sailors, we have more experience and wise sailors that get to really come out and work together and try something new. The team race is really meant to be a fun event. And really, if you've experienced sailing at the event or you've heard about it from somebody who sailed, they will say that is the most fun they've had at a regatta. And I think that's attributed to the diversity from having age disparity, level of experience. You could be new to sailing. You could be new to team racing. You could be sailing, your whole life, but never gone in a dinghy. I think those components, obviously with the wind that day and what's going on in Annapolis can attribute, but everyone has a really fun time. And it's all about Olivia's spirit at the end of it. Inclusivity, having fun, connecting with people and enjoying, this beautiful gift that we have of sailing. So I think that's what's made it successful and definitely different. And like Travis said, it's some kids' only way to do team racing during the summer. So while they're focusing on themselves, at the regattas that they go to, now they get to focus on themselves, but to grow their skills and to work as a team and because they're going to go in a They're going to be in a race with somebody they maybe never met before. And I mean, there's going to be challenges there, but challenges maybe on the skill level. But it becomes fun because you figure it out as you go, and getting a winning combination, or just you have fun on the water. And at the root of it, that's what sailing should be about.
Yeah. So Ian, as someone who was the principal race officer for this event and has done a lot of organizing, where's Ian, Sharp? Are we stuck? It's like just me and Chloe.
Let's take a drink.
There he is. So, Ian, you have a different perspective as someone who's done the organizing of the on the water part and being the principal race officer. Why do you see this as such a successful event? What's some of the feedback you've gotten over the years?
Well, there's a number of different things that go into it. I think one of the biggest things is we had a great group of people that put a lot of passion and energy into coming up with the concept and really putting on a party for everybody early on. The first few years, we really wanted to just put on an event. It wasn't necessarily all about the racing. The racing was an aspect of it, but the event as a whole. So we had Chloe and her parents, Steve and Dorothy, just put so much passion and energy into trying to create this event that and company that just was representative of who Olivia was. We had a lot of input from Hal Whitaker, was a big part of it. Liam Haar is the guy that actually came up with the original idea to host a regatta. Cole also was heavily involved. And through all of that, everybody was able to bring in their area of expertise. And it was just really, really fun. We had some unique racing out there where we increased the variance. If you have most sailboat racing, the same people always win. But in this event, we set it up so that you didn't know who was on your team in a given race. It would be constantly changing, so that more people would have the opportunity to experience winning, and everybody would be really challenged all the time. And that was the on the water aspect of it. On land, we had people that were providing everything that you needed to have your boat ready. I remember Mark Bennett would be out there making sure, finding people to be like, hey, you're supposed to be in this boat, and throwing people in the right boat while people were out getting tacos at the snack bar and stuff like that. And Hal Whitaker would arrange for a band to come, and we'd have bands playing while the racing was going on. And Steve and Chloe and Dorothy were there with wristbands and flags and snacks and drinks for everybody. So all this is going on, and the racing is not necessarily a sidebar, but it's just one aspect of the whole that is this event. And I think that's what separates it, makes it so special. So
with 5 to 10 minute races, how many of them can you run on a day when it's blowing 10 to 12?
I don't know how many we've run in this one. It usually gets up somewhere around 100 over the course of 2 days. I've done regattas where we've run as many as 170 races in a 2-day regatta.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a lot. And I remember hearing that being on shore, because I've come at the end, or I've come by to take pictures, and your description of people being at the taco bar and there being music and people on shore and people there, and you need to be in this boat right now. Just sort of the chaos of it I think is part of what people love most about it. Yeah. So Travis, we didn't get you to answer that question yet. Can you tell us why you think this regatta has been so successful, and some feedback you've heard your time at SSA?
Yeah, Ian covered a lot of it. It's just really different than any other event that you're ever going to go to in your entire life. It's just everyone's fun. Everyone's there to have fun. There's a little bit of competitiveness when you get out on the water, because that's just who we are as sailors. But once you're off the water, you're making new friends. You're playing cornhole. You're playing ring toss. You're having a drink with a new friend. You're getting food at the snack bar. Everyone's just super friendly. And that's the whole point of it. There's nobody that's, off to the side doing their own thing. It's a whole group of people that just love sailing and love having fun. And the band makes it really cool, because you're just like, oh, cool, I'm getting live music while I'm sailing out on the water. And it's just that's just the joy of it. It's just everyone is just happy to be there, and no one's there against their will. No one's like, parents are like, you have to go to this event. It's, I'm choosing to go to this event because it's just all fun. Like my first Olivia event that I ever sailed was, I got there and I was like, man, I felt like it was back like my first ever junior event I ever did, where I'm just giddy and fun and just having a good time. And I don't care where I end up in the scoreboard. It's just a good time all around. So that's really what I think about it. It's just one of those events that you're going to go to year after year, and you know everyone there is going to be having a good time.
Well, I think you really think you guys have sort of found the secret sauce for this sort of event. You know, it's an event with heart. People care about it. It's at a club that feels like a family. I've always had that feeling at Severn Sailing Association. I'm not a member, but I always feel like I'm being welcomed into this family, even when I'm stopping by for an hour. Plus, you're doing fun, fast-paced racing that's open to all ages. Giddy. I like that. I like that description. Some good giddy fun. You don't have that doing a lot of things, and certainly in sailboat racing. So, but I see that no one in the audience seems to be asking any questions, and that might tell me we might not be live, but that's okay because we're recording this, and we'll make sure that it goes out, and we'll tie it together, and we'll cut out our mishap in the middle. But in the meantime, let's talk about some of for anyone out there who might want to be trying to plan such a regatta at their club. And of course, we're going to tell them all about this year's event so they can come join the one at Severn Sailing Association. But say there is someone from Chicago or Milwaukee looking to do something like this at their club, or even down on the Southern Bay or Northern Bay, up on the Northern Bay. What are some of the logistical challenges to planning such a regatta? And I'm going to start with you, Ian, because you have done the on the water part of it before. Some of the challenges, you know, how many committee boats do you need? What do you need in terms of committee?
Yeah, so not that much. Actually, this is the one regatta that I usually run from land. I send other people out to run the starts and take the finish sheets. We really only need probably 3 motorboats. You need a start boat, a finish boat, and a mark boat, ideally. The biggest challenge for me is coming up with the rotations. This event, we do random pairs, so I have to come up with a rotation where different people are on the same are on the are on teams each time, and they're sailing against people they haven't sailed against very much, and they're not scheduled to be in 2 boats at the same time. So that's kind of the logistical challenge from my end. In this event, we decided that we would not have a registration deadline. So we take registrations up until that morning. So it's a last minute rotation making exercise.
We haven't said it yet. What morning is that morning? When is this regatta in 2021?
2021, it is on July 24th, 25th.
Okay.
So, yep.
I knew it was a warm weather regatta, but I couldn't remember which month. So great. So what are some of the logistical challenges from your standpoint, Travis?
Yeah, that's actually the hardest part, is finding the right date for it. Because we don't want to overlap with any big time events with the juniors or adult fleet, because we want everyone to be able to come sail the event. So getting that correct date on the calendar that gives everyone an opportunity to come sail it is probably the hardest part for us. We try and have it on the same date every year, or close to the same date every year. I think that's probably the biggest struggle. And then just making sure you're calling people, emailing people, talking to your friends, spreading the word. If you don't get enough people to, spread the word and let people know the event's happening, they start booking things out. You know how sailors are. We're booking things out a year, 2 years in advance, regatta wise. So if you don't spread the word, it's really difficult to get the numbers at that event. But you pick the right date that's kind of, in between. People are traveling up north to an event or down south to an event. It works really well, because they're just like, oh, I can stop on a weekend and do this event real quick. So you're really trying to find that middle ground of not trying to interfere with any big time events, and giving an opportunity for, I know a lot of coaches like to just stop in the middle of their summer and do this event too. So giving them the opportunity to also sail it, and not trying to schedule it during a junior event or an adult keelboat event is really, I think, the hardest part of this, of getting that on the schedule.
Yeah, and I remember for the Olivia event one time coming to take pictures at the award ceremony, and it was a significantly smaller event than it had been the year before because it overlapped with the big U.S. sailing event. And sometimes you just have to do what you have to do. All I know is the people who were there had a blast.
Yeah.
So the feel, the atmosphere of the regatta was still sort of very energized and really happy. So good. I hope you guys have nailed it this year. So Chloe, from your perspective, what are some of the logistical challenges to this regatta?
Sure.
Are you involved with getting lots of volunteers for the regatta or anything like that?
So logistically, not really. I mean, I rely heavily on the race management, and Ian spoke to it. It really takes having a core group of people that you can trust, and you kind of divvy out roles. You have somebody on the water, you have somebody on land, who's processing the scores. You have somebody, running, getting teams put together, and really you have other people there to support and just, socialize and make sure everyone's comfortable and they have what they need. And that will make it successful. If you all are doing it and having a fun, happy-go-lucky, like comfortable, relaxing feeling, and doing your role, then it'll work out. It's a really laid-back regatta, and Travis said it. It's really, you have music, you are having fun, you're playing cornhole in between races, so it's really relaxing and it's really laid back, and it's just about the community. So it's really the community who is volunteering. That's all you need.
Well, my next question is also for you, Chloe. I just wanted to know how is the fundraising for this regatta worked? I mean,
sure.
It is a fundraiser. Is it one of your more successful ones over the course of the year? Or?
Yeah, so really for us, we wanted to do this event in Olivia's spirit. So fundraising isn't the forefront, actually, as you would think. It's not really about the fundraising. It's really about, doing what Olivia loved to do. And just remembering that. So I think everyone who has sailed the regatta really gets that vibe. They feel that atmosphere through everyone who's running it, everyone who's there. Sailing should be about having fun and about just connecting with people. And if we do that and we're showing that as an example with this regatta, I fully believe that people can take this regatta and implement it and use it, with their other regattas and in their sailing career.
Yeah. Well, that leads to one of my last questions here, which is if another club were attempting to run a team race regatta, for the first time, what would be some of your recommendations from the sailing perspective? I'll let you go first, Ian.
I think decide what kind of event you're trying to run. Are you trying to run a championship level event? Are you trying to introduce the sport of team racing to more people? Or is it trying to be an educational event? Or is it trying to just be a fun get together, go out and enjoy the day? Depending on what you're...
Please keep talking. My computer's running out of battery.
All right. So I think once you've decided what it is you're trying to accomplish, then that'll help guide the decisions that you make along the way. One of the first things you want to think is like, all right, do I want umpires on the water? Umpires are absolutely necessary for a championship level event, but actually kind of take away a little bit, maybe at the grassroots level, the more fun level, where you can do 3-minute justice and people can then work out the issues and then the competitors are working together. For this particular regatta, we decided to do random pairs, random teams, that are constantly changing throughout the regatta. That makes it so that when people are more likely to be nice to their competitors, because their competitors might end up being their teammates next time around. For other events, if you might want to have set teams where whole teams show up and just sail together the whole time. So I think the biggest thing is just deciding, what route you're taking with it, and then making the decisions according to that direction, that goal. And also feel free to reach out. The one thing I know, the team racing community in general is really happy to help. Chances are somebody has tried to do what you're doing before, and they've learned lessons, and they have some rotations built up, and they have some spreadsheets, and they're glad to send it out. So reach out to people that have been doing it, and they'll help guide you along the way.
Yes, and I did notice there's a decent information page on ussailing.org about team racing. You're just looking for some general resources. And how about you, Travis? Any recommendations you would make to someone in a club considering such a regatta, organizing something like this?
Reach out to your, sailors that have graduated for your program, I think is a big one. Because that's kind of what I've been doing is I kind of reach out to our sailors that have graduated from the program and get them to bring in their buddies from other clubs to kind of support the event off the bat. And just have as many people that kind of know what they're doing, because an event like the Olivia is meant for fun and anyone is there to contribute. Like, we'll hop on a coach boat and help you out, set the event up, whatever. But yeah, reach out to the sailors that have been in the program, that have been through it, and they can kind of show that passion of running that event for your club. I think that's really important. If you get someone that's not passionate about running an event, it's not going to be as successful as if you were to just, try and do it all yourself. And you can't do it all yourself. You have to have that help from other people. Like I have Ian and Chloe here who are, they've been involved over the past couple of years that I've been here, but they haven't been like super deep involved in it. But I constantly ask them questions and how what I can do to make the event, have that 70, 80 people there like it used to, and that's the goal. Just reaching out. Feel free to reach out to me or whoever, and I'll help out whenever I can.
Yeah. So if someone in the Annapolis area, or who can at least get to the Annapolis area, is interested in participating in the regatta, how do they learn more about it? Travis, you want to answer this one?
So we have an event page, I think, on our website right now at severnsailing.org that you can click on. Me and Tom Shaw have been creating some documents with a little bit more information about the event. We're going to be sending out some nice little posters with QR codes, which you can just scan. It'll give you all the information about the event, times, the dates, obviously, which we've already said on here, but obviously it's not a bad reminder.
It's okay. We can keep saying it. July 24th, July 25th.
So just we're going to get as much information as we keep going through the season. We're going to keep releasing more and more information about it. I even reached out to Tyler Colvin, one of the assistant coaches at ODU. He runs the ICSA account, I'm pretty sure, for Twitter and Facebook and all that sort of stuff. And I'm going to send him a poster, and he's going to send that out on social media as well. So there's going to be a lot of different places where that information is going to be coming out and going to. So if you follow those accounts, follow the SSA Juniors page account, follow the SSA, the regular SSA account, we're going to be shooting out information as we get closer and closer and closer. If there's anything new that pops up, we'll add it to that. So our social media pages are probably the best way to get information about the event. And then the website will have SIs, NOR, and all that sort of stuff. So
okay, so if you are not a member of Severn Sailing Association, you are welcome to come to the regatta.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't have to have a boat. You don't even have to have a friend with you. You are just allowed to sign up and come down and make some new friends and sail fast and short fun races. And there will be snacks and there will be music.
Have fun.
Yeah.
And have fun. Well, that sounds like a win-win there.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to learn something about the Olivia Constance Foundation, how do they get in touch with you or learn about the foundation?
Sure. So we have a website, oliviaconstance.org, and that has really all the background information about Olivia and about, the inception of the foundation and what we are doing. But we are most active on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Olivia Constance Foundation, and we also have a group page for the regatta. So Olivia's Team Racing Invitational. So if you put those in your search bar on Facebook, you can follow and like both of those. And that's where we also post on our end updates and photos and anything that's relevant to the event and relevant to the foundation. And if you want to find me on Facebook, you can just search for me too.
Yeah, good. Well, I have been to that Facebook page, and I'm actually quite grateful for it, just from a SpinSheet perspective, because it's been nice that the photos live there and some of the history of the regatta lives there. And well, congratulations on running such a successful event for so many years. I look forward to, well, first of all, helping you get some more support for July. Let's get some more sailors on the water in July, and let's keep making sure if you put something on your Facebook page, let me know. I'll make sure to let the SpinSheet audience know about it too. This particular broadcast might be a little weird with it going live tonight, but we'll stitch it together and we'll make sure that it gets out there for people. And is there anything that we missed? Is there any final things you would like to say? We're at last call time here at the SpinSheet Happy Hour. Anything else that we didn't quite talk about when it comes to this regatta or about team racing in general that you'd like to throw in there?
We're trying to get some sort of kind of connection with Long Undi with all those. They have that gear and the pennies. We've gone through Long Undi for our pennies for SSA. We've actually been talking with them about making pennies for the Olivia team race. So that may be something that comes to light too. So if you come to the event this year, there's a very good chance that you may get an Olivia Constance penny to wear while you're sailing, which I think is going to be really cool. So we're working that. We were trying to do that last year. Obviously with COVID, it didn't happen. But we're still working with Long Undi. They've been really good to us with the junior program, and we've been working that angle of getting some pennies for the event too. So that should be
great.
Cool. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, you guys have been great guests. Thank you for putting up with our technological difficulties tonight. So cheers. And we hope that you will come back and tell us about how well it went this year, and or for other reasons. We'll find plenty of reasons to bring you back on the program. Travis, I would certainly like to pick your brain on some junior stuff. And Ian, nice to see you again. I hope you're still counting your days on the water. And
trying to.
That's right. So we're gonna let Chris Charbonneau come back on here, and we're gonna send you guys to the green room. Don't hang up. We're gonna have a little after party in the green room.
That's right.
And thank you guys. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Yeah. Thanks everybody. So everyone's gonna disappear really quick, and I'll reappear. Hello.
Oh, you're gonna leave me up here. I wasn't sure whether you're gonna ditch me or not. So
I can ditch you.
I see that we have one audience member. So I wasn't sure. No one was asking questions on the second part if they were watching or not. But anyway, hopefully we'll get this program back out there and people will benefit from some of what they had to say.
We got most of our crowd back, which is good. And I do want to remind people real quick just about what we're going to do next time, and that is the SpinSheet Happy Hour is turning into the SpinSheet Laundry Night.
It's SpinSheet Summer Laundry Night. SpinSheet Summer Laundry Night. Remember, it's the summer only.
It's the summer only.
It's summer only. So Friday, June 7th, Friday, July 12th, Friday, August 2nd. And then we'll do that on Monday night. Pardon me?
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm really looking forward to it too, because, what else do we have to do on a Monday night? They're racing on Tuesdays. We race on Wednesdays. They race on Thursdays. We've got racing on Friday nights. Monday night, laundry night. I think it's a fit.
I think it's a perfect fit, and I'm glad that people are not able to tune in on a Friday nights just because they're out on the water, and that's what we want people to be doing. So
yeah, and even if they're not on the water, they might just be having just a little bit of a life, just a little bit of a life. Yeah, a little bit of a life is coming back. It's coming back. So
yeah, don't be staring at a screen. So very cool. Well, I this was a great show, and I liked the team racing concept. I have to say, I didn't quite get it until our guest came up and started explaining it. That sounds pretty cool. So,
and you know what helped for me? Ian explained it twice.
Yeah,
the second time, I was starting to fully understand what team racing is.
Exactly. Well,
So
very
anyway,
cool.
but it does sound like a blast. So we'll keep promoting that particular regatta. And in the meantime, have a great weekend, Sharb.
Yeah,
And have
you
a great
too.
weekend, SpinSheet fans. Thanks for watching tonight. And we will see you on Monday.